This is it, the final qualifying of Creative Racing 2022. We will be watching the final qualifying of this season. 10 drivers and they are so excited about today. We will be watching a last qualifying and I have Ridwan Suleiman alongside me. Hello Ridwan, how are you?
Hello Adnan, I'm fine. We are today in the last qualifying round. Drivers are excited, we are excited. It's our last qualifying session. I hope everything will be okay today. Drivers will be safe and they will do the most they can because it's last race and everyone wants to be in the best position. There is ongoing fights, for example, like Adnan and Umeis or Ridwan with Farooq. And the closest battle of the last race is with Enes and Furkan. They have 1 point between them. They are fighting for 5th position of the championship.
Yes, exactly. And the drivers started to heat up their tires. They're making some laps to get used to the track. And we had a very rainy week. The track is still cold and also the tires are cold. So they must be so careful about the tires and about the track temperature. A small mistake or a small pass from the water, it can cause a very big crash or accident on the qualifying rounds. So everything is important at this point.
As you can see, drivers are trying to push hard and hit the tires, but still the track is very cold and drivers are sliding all over the place. But eventually the tires will heat up, the track will be improved and dust on top of the track will be clean and drivers can push their fast laps and compete for the pole position today.
Indeed, they need some time because you can see that Enes has spun and also Ubaid has spun too on corner 5. So this is what we meant. The drivers must be patient about this. By the way, we have full attendance today. Everyone is okay and everyone is on track. They will show their best and last qualifying performance. We see Ercüment Şenyus on track, corner 3. He is trying to heat up his tires also. He is last on the scoreboard and we hope that he can show some performance for today's qualifying. Farooq also has a big gap to Ridwan. He needs 8 points to reach him for the 3rd place. This video has been sponsored by Sonax. Special thanks to them.
Farooq and Hamza started pushing very hard, but as you can see the track is still cold and they are sliding all over the place. And in front of us we can see Umeis spun. He is pushing very hard. I think he will be in very good place. He is very fast driver, but he makes a lot of mistakes. But if you don't push your limits, you cannot find your absolute limit. He manages to do a very good lap. He is that kind of driver that with pushing very hard, he can find his limit.
Finally, we are starting with the fast laps. Ercüment Şenyus will be first to try his best. And he didn't show a good result all over the season. He must show some improvement about his driving skills.
I'm gonna give you some statistics about Ercüment's qualifying results. For example, in the first race, Ercüment qualified in the 4th position. In the 2nd place, Ercüment didn't participate, he didn't start the race. In 3rd race, he was in 9th place. In 4th race, he didn't start. In 5th race, he was 2nd. and it's Erjuman's best positioned in qualifying. In sixth race he didn't start, and the last qualifying round he was in seventh place.
And today he seems that he will be not in a good position, I guess, because he did a 53, I think, yes, 53.8. And this has not been a good results for the whole season because, as you know, we were getting 45, 46 seconds on top three. So I think he's going to be on something around 6, 7, or 8th position again. Next one is Jihad Aliou with car number 16. He's going to try his best lap. On the 7th race, he did finish on podium. He got 2nd place. This was his best finish on all of the season. We wonder how he is going to finish for the last final race.
If we talk about Jihad's qualification results, he is very bad at qualification. For example, he was in 8th place in first race. He didn't start the second race. In third and fourth race, he had 7th place. In 5th place, he didn't start. In 6th and 7th race, he was in 6th position. Those are one of the worst qualification results of our championship. His best result of qualification is 6th place. He got that position 2 times.
Yes, indeed, but the 7th race, he got his best performance for the season. He got the 2nd place for just 7 laps remain. That was very epic from him. By the way, I think there is some water coming up from corner 4 because Furkan has spun on corner 4.
Slick tires in damp patches are like driving on ice, and as you can see, there are big crashes in that place. Umeis went under the tires. It's very bad situation. I think he is okay. He is moving in the cart. Let's see. We cannot judge. It's red flag. The stewards red flag the session. Hamza is running to the Umeis. Umeis is Hamza's brother. Let us see the replay of the position. Hamza spun, hit the tires, but Umeis spun very badly and went under the tires. After that, Farouk hit Umeis and Erjuman hit Umeis. Umeis was in very unfortunate position, but we hope that he is okay and he is not injured, because I think that crash is one of the worst or the worst crash of our season. Hamza is running to his brother. He is very afraid, but I think Umeis is okay. He is moving. He doesn't have problems. He can move his arms, legs. They are trying to take the cart under the tires. He went very bad to the tire. The stewards went there. All our carts stopped there. They are afraid a lot to see cart at position. Then you can see the tires were filled with water from the rain, and they crashed to the tire, and all those water is running to the track and making damp patches. Those damp patches are like ice when you drive the karting over them.
We all hope that Umeis is okay. We mentioned the rain at the start, and we told that it can cause a very bad results, and it almost did actually. But thankfully everyone is alright, and that is the most important thing. And Umeis probably will start his karting again, and the qualifying should start, in my opinion, because we don't have any reason not to start. We just saw that how important is the tire temperature. as well as we saw that what can cause a single drop of water. That was very unfortunate, but the drivers also need to be very careful when they cross the water. So they need to be straight with the car. And we have green flag on. By the way, we have a small collision on turn 14. As we saw, Obaid has lost his control and Farouk just hit behind him. He managed to get back on track. Car number 3, Farouk Suleiman, has started his flying lap. We mentioned that Ridwan is running away with 8 points from Farouk. So Farouk needs a very good position for the last race. At the start of the season, we know that Farouk has finished second. So that proves that Farouk can do it. He has the ability to do it. If we look at the statistic of the qualification rounds of Farouk, he did qualified himself on first race 5th. On the second race he did 6th. For the third race he got the pole position. On the fourth race he did qualified himself 9th. That was his worst qualifyings. For the 5th race he did 4th. For the 6th race he did get first line with the 2nd position. And for the 7th race he did not start. And I think today he is going to be at the middle of the grid because he did 50.3.
Ubey started the lap and he is very wide at the turn 3, but he manages to keep in the track. He goes very wide. I think today's track is very cold and drivers are sliding all over the place. Let us see Ubey's statistics of the season. For example, in the first race he was in 10th place. In the second race he was 7th. In the third race he was 10th place. But at the fourth race he was runner-up. He was 2nd. In the 5th place he was 6th. In the 6th and 7th place he didn't start. Today in the last qualifying session Ubey did 52.2. He is not a good time, but let us see what others will do.
This video has been sponsored by Sonex. Special thanks to them. On turn 9, Erjumand has spun. I think he is not on his flying lap.
Umey started his flying lap. In the first race he started 3rd. In the second race he started 2nd. In third race he started 5th. In 4th race he got the pole position. In 5th race he was 3rd. In 6th race he was 4th, and in last race he was also in 4th position.
Now he must give everything for the last qualifying round. We know that he can do it. But on the other hand, Adnan is the leader and runs ahead of Umais by 7 points. And that is a big gap for only one race. But nothing is impossible. An unexpected crash can change the championship title. Adnan needs only 4 points to beat Umais. Even Umais wins the race and gets the fastest lap, he still can't beat Adnan.
Umais did 50.6. That is not good lap time, but we will see in the race if Umais can change the tide and win the race and take the championship. On the other hand, Adnan started his lap and he is driving good lines. We will check Adnan's other qualification results. For example, Adnan in the first place. In first race, Adnan was on pole. In the second race, Adnan was in 3rd place. In third race, Adnan's worst qualification result was 6th place. In 4th race, Adnan was in 5th place. In 5th and 6th race, Adnan was on pole, and the last race, 7th race, Adnan was in the 2nd place.
By the way, Adnan has finished his flying lap with 48.1, and that is a good lap. There is a 2.5 seconds gap between Umais and Adnan.
In first 2 races, Furkan was in 9th place, but he improved himself and the last race he got the pole. But today his lap is okay, but we will see at the end.
Ridvan with car number 10 and Enes with car number 5 will start their lap almost at the same time. And that can be a bit confusing. Enes can cause a trouble to Ridvan by a tiny break.
Enes does not have good qualification results in this season. He was 7th in first place, 5th in second place, race, 9th in third race, 6th in fourth race, 7th in fifth race, 7th in sixth race, and 5th in last race, which is 7th race. But today he was very fast, and we will see what he will do. On the other hand, Ridvan was second in first race. He got the pole in the first race. He was third in third race. He qualified third in fourth race, but he started fourth because he had a penalty from third race. He got fifth in fifth race. He got third in sixth race, and he got third again in seventh race. Ridvan's poles are very consistent, and he is one of the best qualifiers of this championship.
By the way, Hamza did finish his flying lap with 53.2 and he qualified himself 9th. By the way, we didn't mention that Ridvan did 49.2 and Enes did 48.6, and this is his best qualifying results at this season. This video has been sponsored by Sonax. A special thanks to them. It's been one of the most surprising qualifying rounds of 2022. Adnan gets pole position for the 4th time. Enes, with his best finishes, gets 2nd place on the first line. Ridvan qualifies himself 3rd for the last race of the season. Faruk Suleiman, 4th place with 50.3. Furkan Abdullah gets 5th place with 50.3 also, with a tiny gap between Faruk. A very big disappointment for Umeis, has qualified himself 6th with 50.6. Jihad 7th with 51.2. After that comes Ubaid Faizullah with 52.2. Hamza Suleiman 53.2, and last one on the grid, Erjuman Shenius will be starting 53.8.